back at it with the second video here. If you did not see the previous one, the previous video is talking about, it's kind of just a very rough translation on the blessings that we say before and after food, with the exception of Al Mechia, because I didn't really want to translate that one. I don't know, it would take me too long. Also, if you didn't see the video, please give me feedback. I'm asking everybody for feedback. Any feedback helps a lot. It helps me create better content. Obvious. So, without further ado, I'm going to talk about right now some proper intentions to have when you're making a bracha. So, for instance, let's say you're in the old city of Jerusalem and you go to one of the very, very, very many shawarma places and you order yourself a shawarma. La lafa shawarma, and you get all the hummus and the spicy stuff and the salads, and it's gonna be delicious. You're looking forward to it. It's gonna be incredible. You have this shawarma on your face, right in front of your face, and you're sitting there. You're very hungry. You think to yourself, I'm gonna have a cup of tea. So I have this cup of tea in front of me. I'm very thirsty. I feel like I gotta drink something, or I'm about to faint out of dehydration. So I look at this cup of tea in front of me. I think to myself, this cup of tea right here, this cup with the tea bag and the hot water that's inside of it, that I put the hot water inside of it, this is a gift directly from God. There was no middleman, nobody, nothing between. God put this cup of tea directly in my hands, and I'm about to enjoy from it. God is my host. I'm the guest. This is God's meal. I'm about to enjoy this cup of tea from God. I'm about to share a cup of tea with God. If I don't say the bracha, and God, God is the host. God is everybody's host. We're guests in God's creation. That's one of the reasons that we can't get tattoos. It's one of the reasons we can't mutilate our bodies, things like that. We're guests. We're guests in our body. We're guests to God. God is the creator. God is the host. God is the grand host of everything, including us. So we're hosts. We're guests, and God is the host. So if God is the host, and I take something from my host without thanking, without asking for permission, I'm stealing it. So I don't want to steal from God. God forbid. So I'm going to say a bracha. I'm going to say a blessing to thank God as well as asking Him. I'm asking, assuming the answer is yes, and thanking in one quick sentence. And I say, "Praised are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, creates that everything will be made by His will." And then I enjoy my cup of tea. Of course, the bracha is different, food stuff to food stuff, but the idea is there. You really want to take a look at what you're about to eat, look at what you're about to drink, whatever it is. Think for yourself. This thing that I'm about to enjoy, that I'm about to indulge in, is a direct gift from God. And you might think to yourself, all right, that's a nice idea, but it's not true. The worker put the tea bag in the cup, and I put the hot water in the cup. Like that, God didn't do that. God simply did not do that. I was the one who filled it up with water. It's I made the teacup. Thank you very much. Give credit to God all you want, but I made the tea at the end of the day. That's not true. That's just simply not true. You might think that that's true. You might think that you made the tea. You did not make the tea. Just think of it. Where does the tea come from? Did you grow the plants? Probably not. Even if you did grow the plants, did you create the plants out of nothing? No, you started off with seeds. But even if you could create seeds through some sort of genetic modifications, you still can't create it out of nothing. You're creating it out of materials. You're not actually creating anything. You're changing material from one substance, from a seed, into another substance, into a tea plant. And then you're harvesting the tea plant, you're drying it out, whatever you do, putting it into a tea bag, putting the bag into the cup, filling the cup up with water, waiting a few minutes for the tea to infuse, and then drinking it. But you're not actually creating anything. You didn't make this teacup. We can't make anything. We literally cannot. We can change energy from one state into another, but we don't actually create anything with the exception of a child. That, God is a third player in that different class. I don't even know. But we can't make anything. We especially can't make our food. Especially not our food. When I think, But I'm doing so much work into making this food, or the guy at the restaurant's doing so much work into making this food. You know, how am I thanking God? No, well, no, because if God didn't create the animal to be slaughtered in order to sell to the restaurant for you to enjoy, you wouldn't have this you wouldn't have the shawarma, you wouldn't have the tea. You know, without God creating the food, we would not have the food. So without God creating the ingredients, so to speak, the stuff it takes to get to the food, we wouldn't have the food. If God didn't create the tea, God didn't create a species of plant called tea, I wouldn't be drinking this tea. I would have no tea to drink. There just wouldn't be tea. I hope that makes sense. And next time you're about to eat something or you're about to drink something, think for yourself, wow, if God didn't create this species, this plant, this animal, this whatever it is, if God didn't create dough for, you know, to mix flour and, like, if mixing flour and water didn't create dough, then I wouldn't be able to eat the lava, which is wrapping up my shawarma. And if God didn't create, you know, amba, I don't even know what amba sauce is made out of, but if God didn't create it, I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. And if I wasn't able to put amba in my shawarma, it's not even worth anything. So you really got to think to yourself, thank you, God, for giving me this food. You directly. No, nothing in between. God to me. God's creation, God's fruits, God's vegetables, God's sauces, breads, and meats, and teas, and everything to me. I get to enjoy that. Wow, what an incredible host. And all I have to do is say please and thank you and be polite. I don't know about you, but, you know, that's something that I learned we should do anyway from a very young age. Wow. Thank you so much, God, for giving me this food that I'm now going to enjoy. I hope you're able to use that when next time you eat something, you're able to have a little bit of kavanah, a little bit of intention. And I hope that this isn't such a complicated video for people to understand, because it is a very important topic. And like I said, please give me feedback. Do you like this? Do you hate this? Let me know. Thank you. Have a good night.